Yo, what is up guys, it's Pedro here, and in today's video, I'll be giving you guys a big Terry McLaurin contract update video from a bunch of different reporters. Jeremy Fowler, John Keim, a bunch of different people as well. If you guys are new, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button and that notification bell as well so you never miss a video. It has been like over a week or more since I've made a Terry McLaurin update video. I know some of you guys are sick of it, but I just want to compile all the reports for you guys in this one video, and we'll leave it for a little bit. So John Keim talked about this. He says that he thinks Washington can get to 28 million. He just doesn't know if that would be enough for McLaurin's side. So that is good news that he thinks that Washington would be able to get to 28 million. Because right now, let's see from the report I saw, this is from Jeremy Fowler before he went on, Rio's show. He said that, they're offering him a little bit more than what he's making right now, which is $23 million. So whatever you want to infer from that, maybe 25 million, maybe $25.5 million is what they're offering him right now. That's what Jeremy Fowler is reporting. There's a bunch of different reports out there, so you do have to keep that in mind, and you can't just believe one report. There's so many different reports saying different things, but I think that the fact that the Commanders are willing to get to 28 million, I think that's good news. They might have to get a little bit higher than that, but not too much higher, and I think they got a deal, and Terry's side needs to bring their price down a little bit as well. And the Commanders got a big preseason game today. Obviously, we'll give you guys an update video on that when that ends up happening, but 28 million is reasonable for both sides. I do understand though Terry wanting more than 28, so I think $30 million is a good happy medium that the teams can't, or the two sides can't agree on. Then you got from Diana Rossini. She just kind of talked about how Terry's side wants a little bit more than 30 plus, and she thinks that it could possibly happen. Nothing crazy with her reporting. She's talked about how he wants DK money and stuff like that over the last week or so. Not super reliable, her reporting, in terms of some of the Washington stuff recently, but something to consider, because obviously she does have a lot of NFL sources. Shout out to Rio, my guy, for getting Jeremy Fowler on his show. That's a huge get. And Jeremy Fowler says that one particular team has pursued trading for Terry McLaurin. So I'm sure a few teams, maybe more than a few teams, have called in and said, all right, what's the price on Terry, blah, blah, blah. And a lot of them, or all of them, I bet, get shut down by Adam Peters. And he's like, you know what, he's not for sale. But from what I'm gathering from this is that he's saying that, all right, there's one team that's like more persistent about it. Maybe the Patriots, they were just there, or the Commanders were just there and are there for, the joint practice and the preseason games. So who knows? Maybe the Patriots are trying to get something done, and they have a little bit more of a direct access to the team, so they think they can get it done. I don't think, I would be very surprised if they almost 0% chance that he's going to get traded. And that's a lot of the different reporters are saying the same thing. Diana Rossini mentioned it. Albert Breer, who is an NFL reporter, also has, I think, reported for the Patriots before, also went to Ohio State, is very well connected there, has had multiple conversations with Terry McLaurin. He thinks it will get done. All these people think it's going to get done. So as much as we are kind of upset about the situation, all these reporters are saying that they believe it will get done. I do understand though the frustration, because a lot of these reporters have been saying not to worry, it's going to get done in June, it's going to get done in July, and then, it just doesn't get done. So I do understand the people's frustration with that. And, they keep saying stuff and it doesn't happen, and they're just delaying what they're saying. And all right, or not delaying, just changing what they're saying, basically. But almost everyone says that they would be very, very surprised if a Terry McLaurin trade happened, and almost all these reporters are saying they believe a deal will get done by at some point, which of course is unfortunate there. But, again, I mentioned this report here. He wants like 33 million. I can't remember who it was, but I did see a report that like almost no team would give him that amount that, he's asking for. So he has to, change his asking price a little bit. And the team too, I mean, if they're offering him 25 million, he's making 23 right now. And that's with, his contract when he signed it with the salary cap way lower than it is now. So, making more, definitely makes sense than what they're offering him. But if they're willing to get to 28, I think they can find a middle ground there. And that 28 million is like probably as high as the team is probably willing to go. Maybe they go to 29. The highest I could see the team going is 30. And if Terry declines 30, then at that point it gets to the point where you're kind of like, Terry, come on, dude. Like $30 million. I understand you want DK Metcalf money, but the Steelers overpaid and you're older than him. Yes, you're better, but you are older, and we'll give you some more guaranteed, maybe some more incentives, but I think that's it. 30 million is very, very reasonable on Terry's side at this point. With how everything has gone, Terry should be happy to get $30 million. I mean, obviously, life-changing money, 3-year extension. I think that works perfectly. If they want to do a 2-year extension, that's when things change. A 2-year extension, he would get, I would say he would get a little bit more AAV because you're giving him less long-term security and you're also getting him for when he's younger, so you don't have to pay him for that 33 34-year-old season of Terry McLaurin. You're just paying for the next 3 seasons, including this one, which would be his 29 to 30, 30 to 31, and 31 to 32, which is very, very reasonable. So basically, to sum up these reports before you get into some other stuff, is all these reporters are kind of saying the same thing. There's some that are saying a little bit like more specific stuff, like Jeremy Fowler, but all of them believe that Terry's deal will get done. They're also all basically saying he wants in that 33, 34 million range. Ian Rappaport has mentioned that, and he also has kind of been a little bit more on the train of like, I'm not saying 100% that they're not going to trade him. That's what, Ian Rappaport kind of has said. But, Adam Schefter mentioned, DK wants 33, or not DK, Terry wants like 33, 34. And, it seems like that's where they're at right now, Terry and company. So we need some of, both these sides to budge a little bit. I know they want their negotiation tactics and everything, but, increase that offer a little bit, Commanders wise, go from 23 to 25, and then Terry decrease that, the asking price. And then you're getting more to a better medium than where you are right now, which seems like very, very far apart. My guess on when a deal gets done is August 31st, like after the preseason's over, week or two before the season starts, is my guess on when this all gets done. But you never know, guys. You never know. So, I'll just pull up a Terry McLaurin stuff right here, see if we see any other stuff. This is what I saw. From Ben Stanek, from a GM. He said, if I'm a betting man, Metcalf's terms is what they want. That's, talking about Terry McLaurin and company. But I don't think anyone else will give it to him. So something to keep in mind right there. Diane and Rossini, if you guys want to pause this, has a bunch of stats here. Just, glazing Terry. And it's warranted glaze. It's warranted glaze for sure. But, stuff we've been saying for a long, long time. And now, they're finally, listening. These national media and, people are starting to listen. So that's kind of it. You had the Stephen A report that said 27 million. I'm not listening to Stephen A. And you guys can see all this stuff right here. Some memes, stuff like that. But I kind of mentioned all these stuff that you really need to know. And again, it really just comes down to them both being a little bit more reasonable than they are being right now. But thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hopefully the Commanders have a good preseason game. I don't care about a win, obviously. Let's be healthy. That's the biggest thing. Health, 1. Young players being, playing well is number 2. And after that, it doesn't matter too much. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and peace.